These assistant coaching salaries, Ralph, are getting crazy. When I saw this list, I was flabbergasted because I didn't realize how big this list is. The poorest assistant coach in the top 10 is, from my Oregon Ducks, Tosh Lupoy, at a minuscule, just a minuscule $1.9 million. Now, Oregon's defense is really good. I got no problem with him making $1.9 million because he's doing a good job. Head coaches used to be happy to get paid that. There are a lot of head coaches that aren't making this type of money. So Tosh Lupoy at $1.9 million, Morgan Scalley at Utah at $2 million. That feels like a good deal. Glenn Schumann at Georgia, interesting amount of money. Also, excuse me, Chip Kelly at number 8, $2 million. So him and Morgan Scalley are tied. Number 7, defensive coordinator Glenn Schumann at Georgia, $2,003,000.
What do you think that 3,000 is about?
To put you above them other people at $2 million. DC at Florida State, Adam Fuller, $2,015,000. Andy Ludwig, Utah OC, former Utah OC, $2,050,000. So I think it is interesting that Utah had 2 coordinators up there, that type of money, because they're trying to keep Morgan Scalley around so he can be the next head coach. Pete Golding, $2.15 million at Ole Miss. Jim Knowles, the DC at Ohio State, $2.2 million. Wink Martindale at $2.3 million. Defensive coordinator at Michigan. All of these feel like that these are some of the top guys at their job. How about Blake Baker, number 1 on this list, defensive coordinator at LSU, $2.5 million.
That's a tough one because that's the number they had to give to get him out of Mizzou, right? I'm going to make you the highest paid coordinator in all of college football if you leave Mizzou, come to LSU where all the money is, and their defense not so good.
Yep.
Again,
dude, the comments on the posts are hilarious. LSU and Florida State just throwing away money. Actually, Florida State's defense was actually all right. Their offense was so bad that it put the defense in bad positions all the time. Their defense was fine. LSU should ask for a refund.
Well, their head coach is making 8 figures, so and they had defensive problems before Blake Baker got there. So I'm shout out to Blake Baker for getting paid life-changing money to leave Mizzou. Had he stayed at Mizzou, maybe they go to a college football playoff. I don't know, but that was a tough one. Seeing him at the very top of the list, you have to imagine that
the only 2 coordinators that aren't on this list right now that may be on this list is Golden and Denbrock over at Notre Dame.
Yeah, and then maybe DeAnton Lynn is getting something in the
at USC. He's for sure making over $2 million for sure. There's no way, because he was making over $1 million at UCLA and they poached him. So
okay, so I want to read you an article. I know that doesn't make for great podcasting, but I want to read you part of an article from the year 2000. Is that okay?
Okay.
This article is by a man named George Schroeder. 2 bits, 4 bits, $2 million college coaches hit pay dirt and much more. So this is from June 11th, 2000, just 24 years ago. And I'm going to skip to the middle of the article. Salaries really began escalating in the latter half of the last decade. After Florida won the 1996 national championship, Steve Spurrier got a $2 million deal. Florida Athletic Director Jeremy Foley indicated the contract and subsequent bumps to Spurrier's salary were necessary because the lucrative offers NFL teams had begun offering Spurrier. And Foley said it was justified because of the astronomical revenue figures the Gators were raking in from football. It's a common argument at the top levels, college football is a cash cow bringing in millions. Why shouldn't the architect of the success, the person with the highest profile of a high-pressure situation, be richly compensated? Several other schools quickly followed Florida's lead. A year ago, Rick Neuheisel got $1 million to leave Colorado for Washington.
Woo.
Kentucky's TCU's Dennis Franchione and Kentucky's Hal Mummy both had their contracts reworked to around $800,000. Arkansas bumped Houston Nutt's salary of about $400,000 to near $750,000.
Ooh, raking in the big bucks in 2000, buddy.
Tommy Tuberville at this time was making about $900,000, while Kansas State's Bill Snyder, Texas's Mac Brown, and R.C. Slocum at Texas A&M all earned about $1 million. Dan McCarney of Iowa State only made $300,000. Bob Stoops made an estimated $650,000 at Oklahoma. That is 24 years ago. We're talking about 4 coaches total. 4 total coaches making 6 figures. And this list that you have up right now is at least 9 assistant coaches making $2 million per year, plus several that we don't have the salary data on.
Boy, times is changing, boy. Hey, you're gonna have people who, you know how people used to try to groom their kids to, well, they groom their kids to be professional athletes or, you know, or anything else. Doctors, lawyers. Why would you not groom your kid to be a head coach? $100 million contracts.
Yeah, I
teach them the skills that they need. Like, we are going to study football, son. We are going to. I know that you won't play football because your genetics are not set up that way. We are going to teach you leadership classes. We are going to teach you the game. We're going to get you around all the smart people. Send you to all the clinics. The way you can be the next Kenny Dillingham, sir. Young guy, up through the ranks. How's that a bad path?
So, there's a lot of parents who might not understand that I have switched recently from saying stuff to my oldest son, like, hey, you could play Madden when you finish your homework, to, hey, you could finish your homework after you play Madden.
Yeah. Because you might be a game, like, that actually might be their career path, which is wild.